3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? I'm Todd Brown of That Racing Show. Thanks for dropping by for this pit stop segment. Today, I want to talk about Jeffrey Earnhardt. Now, I'm going to put everything into a little package here, and I hope it makes sense to you, so just follow along with me. I'm going to show you a picture that I want to see painted. Now, this past week, Dale Jr. made the announcement that there's some talks going on about possibly putting Jeffrey Earnhardt in a junior motorsports ride for the 2024 season. Now, this rose to the top of some headlines, created a lot of interest between fans, people in the racing industry as well. And for me, seemed like a piece of destiny that's just been waiting to happen. Now, a lot of people ask all the time, why has Jeffrey not drove for Junior Motorsports full-time in the past? It's a simple reason, because Jeffrey always wanted to make his own way. Now, this is something that I got to witness firsthand, because I first met Jeffrey when he was just a little guy. His dad, Kerry, and Kerry's stepdad, Jack, they both used to bring Bobby and Jeffrey into the shop at Beasley Cross Chevrolet where I worked. Now, if Beasley Cross Chevrolet sounds familiar to you, that's because it was the sponsor for Ralph Earnhardt for many, many years. And I can remember a day that both Bobby and Jeffrey come in black dusters with Stetson hats and just sat in front of my office window and looked at me. And man, I'm going to tell you, the uncanny resemblance to Dale Sr. back then was mind-boggling. Now, Jeffrey went on to run the Hornets division at With Speedway, doing something all on his own, not using his name to get through anything, rose up through the sportsman level, finally ended up in a late model, before signing a contract in 2007 with his birthright name at Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. Now, he ran the Busch East Series that year. It was a driver development deal. He drove a car for Andy Santerre, finished fifth in the points, won most popular driver, before everything fell apart with that deal. Dale Earnhardt Incorporated obviously went away. But yet Jeffrey kept fighting. He kept racing. He kept doing everything that he could. And that fight is what attracted the eyes of his uncle, Dale Jr. Because not only was he driving, he was also getting involved in the MMA, mixed martial arts fighting. And Jr. saw his devotion to his training, his dedication and everything else. And in 2013, Jr. decided to put him in the number 5 junior motorsports car at Richmond Speedway, where Jeffrey went out and finished a respectable 17th. Now, a lot of people have said in the past, well, there you go. He was already in that car. He didn't perform to the level. Well, at that time, that was only 14 races into Jeffrey's young career in the Xfinity Series. But he still went on to race in a bunch of other cars, a bunch of other series, including Truck, Xfinity, and Cup. Now, he finally did land a good ride in 2019 with Joe Gibbs Racing, where he ran a handful of races, had a best finish of 3rd, and then went back to the same vehicles that he had been racing, or race cars that he had been racing for many years prior to that. And then in 2022, he hit gold with RCR, got to race at Talladega with Larry McReynolds up on top of the box, and the iconic number 3. It made headlines, made people cry. It was a great day. And not only was it great for the fans, it was great for Jeffrey, because he sat on the pole and he come home with a very respectable 2nd place finish. But following that, he was back to the cars that he had to continue to run with for so many years. Well, I think he was very deserving of a full-time ride with RCR at that point. Now, this brings me to my next point of Bass Pro Shops. Now, Bass Pro Shops come into the NASCAR Series in 1998 as an associate sponsor for RCR with Dale Earnhardt. They originally had a 5x5 sticker on the B pillar of the car. And then in the Winston Select that year, the iconic gold car, they took over the whole hood. Kerry Earnhardt also drove the Bass Pro Shops number 33 in multiple races with multiple paint schemes. And then finally, Junior ended up with Bass Pro Shops on the side of his cars, and he himself in the number 88 in the Xfinity Series. Outside of that, also running the iconic gold paint scheme in the late model series. So to me, there's nobody more fitting to put in a Bass Pro Shops car than Jeffrey Earnhardt. And sometime through the 2024 season, bring that gold paint scheme back for one race at least. Now, Bass Pro Shops prides itself on sponsoring sportsmen, outdoorsmen. And there's nobody that can deny that Jeffrey Earnhardt is not the epitome of an outdoorsman. And if you look at this picture right here alone, that speaks volumes about what it would mean to see Jeffrey Earnhardt in a Junior Motorsports car, especially the number 8, just like his great-grandfather Ralph drove when it was sponsored by Beasley Cross Chevrolet. So I want your opinions on this. What do you think? You think this is a good deal? You think somebody else needs to be in the car? Or is this just history waiting to be made? Now, in my opinion, there's a lot of drivers that are open on the market right now that could get in this car. But when it comes to tradition and somebody who has worked his way and proved himself that deserves a good ride, a solid ride for a full year, who can bring his own other sponsors along, is Jeffrey Earnhardt. And Bass Pro Shops on the side of that car, that's history all over again, and history in the making. So Johnny Morris, let's make this happen. Dale Jr., let's make this happen. Let's put an Earnhardt back in the 8 car. Let's put Bass Pro Shops back on the side of an Earnhardt for a full season. Let's make some history. Now, as always, I want your opinions and your views on this. How do you feel about the possibility of this? Do you think there's somebody else better? Or do you think Jeffrey deserves a chance at a top ride in the Xfinity Series like I do to prove himself? Because I do believe we would see Earnhardt back in victory lane. Anyways, as always, hope everybody's having a great week. And we'll see you at the checkered flag.